Jerry Woodcocks, how do you feel about health, business, and mask mandates?
The mask mandates, I was involved with that. That was one of the big troubles we had in the last 3 years. And I'm not in favor of masking at all. I don't want it. We've worked with it. We've done everything. We listen to the health officers. We listen to the state. We listen to the feds, and we listen to everybody else. And they wanted to push it on us, and I was never in favor of it. I voted against it every time I had a chance.
Okay. Steve, how do you define smart growth?
Less government.
I didn't say lightning round. Wayne, if you get elected, what portfolio do you want?
First one's planning and zoning. Again, I think the ET zone is not being treated fairly, and I want to try to fix that.
What do you think about eminent domain?
That's an easy question.
Oh, is it? Do you want to trade?
Well, I didn't see the wisdom of giving her your question
Yeah.
specifically for you. So,
Eminent domain. I will admit I don't know a lot about it. That would be something that I would need to do a little more research on before I was able to give an educated opinion.
in regards to the future of the 4-H fairgrounds, money spent on incarceration instead of developing youth, why is there little to no investment in the development of youth and agriculture?
Boy, that's way outside of my wheelhouse.
Next candidate, next card.
Yeah,
I shuffled the cards again.
It's the luck of the draw or the
I'm not afraid to say I don't have an answer or something like that. So I'd have to, I have my particular areas that I know stuff about and can sound like I know stuff about, but that's not one of them. So I'll pass.
By having an administrator for the county commission, wouldn't that take away the ability to personally talk to the commissioner and ask questions of those who hold the certain portfolio?
The portfolio system works good if the county commissioners are good. And I mean, if they're going to willing to do their work. And we have a couple right now that do a lot of work, and we have 2 or 3 that don't do hardly anything. And that's not right. I mean, how can you possibly manage a multi-million-dollar business, and I equate it to a business, when you don't have nobody pulling the boat, nobody pushing. It just doesn't make sense.
That's an interesting question, and I'm going to give you a solid answer. When I was on the city commission, Bill Wolken was the city administrator, and I noticed that there were 2 things about commissioners. One of them, they felt their job was to come to a meeting to spend money, of course. And number 2 is get out of work. And what they did with the administration then, the administrator, is in Bismarck now, they don't have, the mayor could call if a tornado goes through a disaster. After that, if he's out of town, it all goes on the administrator. So the commissioners, if they don't want to go to, they also did certain things like you can spend X amount of money before you need a commission meeting, and it comes up Fargo, Linton flood, and they said $50,000 because commissioners didn't want to come to work at a special meeting and say, okay, let's send our equipment down there and help them. It's a dereliction of duty, and it's a way to get out of doing your job as commissioner. I'm against it.
I'm opposite. I'm for it. I'm for it. My point of a county administrator is having that one person that is watching the day-to-day operations. We all have full-time jobs. We all have full-time careers. As a county commissioner, I don't think I should be the one interviewing 14 people for a position within one of my portfolios. Now, as far as access, as an elected official, I should be accessible to every voter, every employee of the county. That's my job. That's why I'm standing here asking for your vote. I'm accountable to you and I'm accountable to those employees. But I think that administrator is that one more piece that keeps all the legalities and all of the day-to-day issues running smoothly between the departments rather than getting the commissioners involved.
So I think as a former county employee, at times it's really hard to find a county commission who will sit in those 14 interviews or do those day-to-day things. I think an administrator would help with that. I don't think that that would limit your ability to contact me as a county commissioner. I don't feel like that's a shirking of duties. That's very much a, you are a voter, you can come to me with any and everything and I will do my best to address it.
So I would say I would reluctantly support an administrator role with a caveat that the powers delegated must be very clear, because in other political subdivisions, we have situations where school superintendent sets the agenda for the board members and they just show up and vote, don't necessarily have any involvement. You have cities, as was referenced by Steve, it's pretty well established and known that Bill Wolken was kind of the boss of the situation, and the mayor and the commissioners just came in and voted off on it. So you've got to have a clear delineation between the commissioner's role and the administrators. As Jerry was saying, there was probably a time in distant past where a county commissioner actually went and drove the blade himself. I don't think that we're in those times anymore. So expecting that kind of micromanagement from your elected county commissioner shouldn't be expected. So you need, like any big organization, you need a point person to be where the buck stops. But the county commission needs to practice their own oversight over that, or else it can get out of control.
There we have it.
There we go. Give everyone a round of applause. Thank you to each of them for being here. Thank you, Ted Mitchell, for emceeing. Thank you to the board for putting this on. I know we didn't get to everybody's questions. There's still a pile of questions over on the table, but we do have to cap it and call it for the night. So you're far welcome to stick around if they're going to stick around, or contact them on their own personal time and get your answers that you're looking for.